Okay, one last thing. Be sure to share this because I think this is a very valid conversation and it's different from the chatter that is happening online. So,
hi, my name is Mimi and welcome back to my channel, Untwisted. So back when I started my channel in 2020, there were two things that were trending. One was Mielle and a controversy, and the other one was 30-day hair detox. And here we are in 2023. We're the creators of the 30-day hair detox, have something to say about a different Mielle controversy that is currently trending. So I just wanted to do a reaction video about one of the two things that are trending. So the two things that are trending is there was a controversy around the Mielle Organics oil, which I don't understand completely. And also the fact that Mielle sold their brand to P&G. I am going to focus on the latter, but I will give my 30 seconds about the Mielle Organics oil. You know what? I'm literally going to take out my phone and set a timer for 30 seconds. And then I'm going to get into the first clip from the Black Girl Curls Live. All right, here we go. So, we don't get upset when people who are not black buy black people's music. We don't get upset when people who are not black buy black people's skincare. We do not get upset when people who are not black buy black people's fashion. So honestly, I don't understand what the big deal is with somebody who is not black buying something that was created by a black person for black people. I think it's hard for us to say in one breath that we should be supporting black entities, and then in the next breath to go be upset when somebody does just that. So those are, like I said, there might be more context that I'm missing, but from like the 10 minutes I was willing to invest in that whole thing on TikTok, that's all I got. Like, I don't understand if people who do not share the same heritage as us decide they want to go ahead and invest in something that we created for us. As long as that brand, that musician, that artist continue to create in that lane for us, I don't see a problem. So that's all I got to say about the TikTok things. I'm going to let Gen Z have that argument and explain their feelings about that, but I don't feel the same way. So before we get started, I'm going to ask you if you think this was a good move for Mielle and the natural hair community as a whole. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you think this was a sellout and it's going to do nothing for anybody but Mielle, go ahead and give this video a thumbs down. I promise the thumbs down will not hurt me, so don't be afraid to click thumbs down. All right, so now here we go with the first clip from the Black Girl Curls Live.
First, I want to say this. Let me say this. First of all, Monique and Melvin are from Chicago, so whoop whoop to them.
Yes.
We're going to do that because we're not haters. We're going to congratulate and we're going to give flowers because we understand the industry as a whole, not just where we.
All right, so that first clip, they were just bigging up Chicago. Big up to Chicago. When I think Chicago, I think Kanye, I think Michelle Obama, Black Girl Curls. But I don't know nobody in real life from Chicago. But big up to a win in general and a win for Chicago. Gonna keep going.
Sis, your hard work has paid off. But let's start talking about, number one, from business. Let's go from the way you listed it. The business thing. When you think about mergers and acquisitions inside of the business world. Now, and a little bit of background, I started out college in a 5-year MBA program, graduated with an art degree, but did a decent amount of the business courses. And mergers and acquisitions. Mergers happen when two companies of equal stature, typically, or equivalent stature, come together to form a bigger company. Acquisitions happen when a bigger company comes in and either takes over or funds a smaller company. Now, we haven't seen the contract. We didn't hear the negotiations. We don't know nothing about that. So that is not pretty much our business, but that is general business knowledge. So I like to approach things from that. I love the marketing angle and I love the people with the talent to spin the words. but let's come to it with the facts of what a merger is and what an acquisition is, because a merger is a partnership. An acquisition is an unequal base of power. Procter Gamble is a multi-billion, possibly trillion-dollar consumer goods company. Mielle Organics, at recent research that I've done, was valuated at $100 million. So let's start there.
Right. So even with that $100 million valuation, that does not mean they have $100 million in their bank account.
That. Let's start there.
Let's start there. Just like we have these 95,000 followers on our account does not mean we have $95,000 in our account right at this moment. So we need to have a moment with just that information and to know what let's even talk about what the markup is. Like, what are they actually? It's a 40%. Am I saying this right, Elise? It's a
40% markup on resale prices. That depends on what the raw goods cost. That depends on what packaging costs. That depends on just the fixed and it's fixed, and my brain is not working right now, but non-fixed costs.
And therefore, right now, what fixed costs? What fixed costs do people have right now? I mean, outside of payroll, what other
facility management? Some other hard goods, but then you have all the non-fixed costs, which is your ingredients. Sometimes payroll can be non-fixed when you start talking about contractors and people that you need. So yes, the company is valuated at $100 million. We don't know what the expenses of the company are. Thank you, variable costs. Y'all, because my brain was like, nah, girl, you ain't got it. So you have the fixed costs and the variable costs. And yes, the company is valuated at $100 million. But when you look at the entire landscape of natural hair products, an even bigger realm of personal care products, and then the bigger realm of consumer goods, that is a drop in the bucket. And as business owners, we can understand when we see a large amount of money coming in, but it's a large amount of money going out to keep the business running. And so when you think about what businesses are expected to do once they have investment, because to grow your business at this point, either you're going to have a stroke of luck or you have to accept venture capital or investments or acquisitions to grow. Because if you are not growing and you're just stagnant and maintaining, you're actually losing ground in your market because of inflation, because of consumer attrition, because of so many other different factors. And so that was the mini business lesson in this for us. We want to see these businesses grow, but we don't have the infrastructure as Black people to continue to see these consumer brands grow in the way that other brands do. And I want to call this out too. Because a lot of these brands that are not Black owned, this is actually the pipeline for all of these brands. These Caucasian brands are not owned by a single person or a single company.
So I don't have much to add. I agree with what Black Girl Curls was saying. I will just add, as a consumer though, when small companies get these capital investments, if they invested into inventory, if they invested into getting people to help ship packages out, these are kind of things you would see, in the consumer space where you don't have to wait 2 or 3 weeks to get a product from Mielle anymore because they're out of stock. So this helps these brands keep the products that we like in stock. Because I know outside of the oil, I know Mielle, people would complain that it would take them weeks to get packages from Mielle. So hopefully with the backing of P&G, they are able to get out packages quicker. So that's really all I have to add to that part. Let's see some more.
We have no understanding of. And what I am really, really disappointed about is just a lot of the narratives and the speeches that people are making about a business decision that these two individuals made for their company. I like to put it in this perspective too, Elise. It's kind of like when we go to school. We got to leave third grade. We gotta leave third grade.
You gotta go to fourth. You gotta go to fifth. You gotta go to high school. You gotta graduate. Like, you gotta keep progressing and moving on. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna say this again. This is just they sent it to me, or I bought it and I haven't used it shelf. Don't ask me about nothing over here. I ain't used nothing behind me. That's what this is. It's the core. It's the core. If you want to know what we use and how we use it,
look over here.
Yeah.
Our little.
If you want to know what we use and how we use it for consumers, you can go to the link in I Am Black Girl Curls, our account that'll take you to our consumer education, both the See Some Curls visual library and the Wash Your Damn Hair textbook. And if you're
Our products are our fixtures. They're our
they're decor. They're my decor, because I don't have any other decor. I just had to put this shit out. And if you are a professional, you can go to the link in Cut It Kinky's bio and apply for our immersion workshop, take an enrichment class, or join the Curl Society Digital. We have education for everybody.
Everybody. It that because the other thing about this is, like, I've already seen this film before.
Yes.
This is not a new. This is like the third film based on a brand.
Oh. So
Seven.
let's see, on the consumer side, we had Chin Moisture, Carol's Daughter,
Main Choice,
Pearl Smith just sold Main Choice.
Okay.
There's a couple of others that I'm probably not thinking of. On the pro side, we have Briogeo. Briogeo started in salons. When she got into Ulta and Sephora, she yanked it completely from other salons. Then once she got in those places, she sold the company. So we can begrudge something happening like that, but as a business owner, your company, the whole purpose is either A, to stay in the business and be consistent and content with what you get, or grow it so much where you can sell it and move out from under this thing. You're not the same person that you were 10 years ago. A company you started 10 years ago may not be the thing you want to do. In 20 years, you have to set your life up, your family up, your legacy up to do that. And so on the pro side, we saw Diva Curl do that. Lorraine Massey owned it. Then there was private investment. And then now it's owned by, I don't know.
They're on their fifth owner. I like their fifth owner.
Yeah, they really are on there because, again, in owning a private company, these are the things that people are able to do.
Uncle Funky's.
Actually, and let's talk about the story of Uncle Funky's that everybody got up in arms with. Uncle Funky's was an unwilling sale. The owner had to give it up as part of a divorce settlement. Her ex-husband decided to fight her. And they fought. And the judge said, okay, neither of y'all get this. Somebody comes and buys it. And a customer of Uncle Funky's came in, scooped it up. She wasn't a professional, and she had different ideas of how to grow that product, not inside salons, but inside of mass retail. If they were to sell to another company, cool. But we're saying RIP. I got 3 liters of Uncle Funky's downstairs, and it's acting. It works the same way it worked in 2012. I've been using it that long. And so when we start talking about stuff changing, the question is, does it work?
Okay, so first, I'm glad she addressed it. Just like y'all, I had peeped a few brands behind her, the Pattern and the Miche, and was curious to hear her insights, but there are none. She just got them for free. They are there. And then, I think that was a good conversation about how this isn't the first time a Black-owned company has sold. We've seen it before. And it's part of growth. You do get to, there's a ceiling where you have the capacity as an owner to continue to grow the company. This is not uncommon in commerce in general. Bigger conglomerates control the supply chain. So it's easier, especially in the consumer packaged goods space, to sell out or grow. It's so hard. It's so hard because as Black people, we see it as selling out. And there are literally companies who start with the goal of selling once they reach a certain level. But we're not used to it because we're not used to these large conglomerates investing in us. So we get nervous about what that looks like and how much are they going to pivot to open up to a wider market. But this was just a good conversation about it's happened before, it'll happen again. We'll just see. We just hope that, Mielle continues to make products that perform for tight curly hair, continue to see Black women as their primary market and keep creating for us. We'll see how it goes.
Let me tell you, there's so much going on behind the scenes. Seen things actually earlier this year that alluded to this happening. So I'm not really surprised. When Elise sent it to me, I said, wow. But when I called her, I was like, I actually saw some things over the course of this last year that made me gave me that feeling that they were in the process of doing stuff. So this is not the announcement happened yesterday.
That's been working behind the scenes for a minimum of several weeks to several months to possibly it's been a multi-year introduction into the system, especially when you go look at Richard Lou Dennis's post about it. We don't know what's been going on behind the scenes for long times because, again, private companies do not have the responsibility to do that. What you have as the consumer, what you have as a stylist is the responsibility to yourself and to your business.
Yeah.
And we have to keep the eye on the prize there. So whether they keep the same ingredients, change the ingredients, have the same performance, don't have the same performance, has nothing to do with your hair and your client's hair.
I also think about the opportunities that this is going to create. Because Monique and Melvin have been really consistent about being very community-based, and they already have pledged money to their foundation. Both P&G and Mielle have both pledged money into this foundation, which means that this is going to create opportunities for other small businesses, minority owned, because what y'all also learned our understanding is the amount of minority Black owned, women owned businesses that actually get capital. Can we talk about that?
Talk about the fact that we are celebrating, right? Just recently, I just finished the New Voices Family Incubator, and we were celebrating a founder getting, I think it was about $10 million venture capital investment. There are less than 100 Black women who have received $1 million and over in capital investment. Can we start there?
Please.
Because we think that our purchases as consumers and even our wholesale orders as professionals are what grow companies. I want to say that is a flat out lie and a falsehood that keeps Black businesses from being able to grow. Just gonna put that out there. As consumers, our purchases have to be within a certain price range for that company. That doesn't mean that there isn't a 50 to 60% margin on that brand, meaning the company gets 40 after they spend 60 paying for the product to be made, and that 40 then has to pay salaries, facility, all again, those fixed and variable costs. So there is minimal profit margin. I'm teaching the business class professionals, hear me. There's a minimal profit margin after you have your expenses deducted from your revenue. And so when that profit margin is 5%, 10%, 15%, that is not enough capital to grow a business. When you think about even just a facility can be upwards of a couple $1 million when you think about land and building and equipment and people to work it and the light bill. And so when you think about
the internet, the internet you need
my internet bill is $200 in the space I'm in right now, and I pay that every damn month by myself.
Listen, first world problems.
So when you think about that, you're able to maybe sustain, not encounter any emergencies, not encounter anything. You may be able to sustain, but you can't grow. And so that's where that investment happens. And when you have under 100 or less Black women have received $1 million or more of venture capital investment, we are in rarefied territory right now. And when it comes to building up the people and building up the businesses and conglomerates that then can come back and start bringing more of that capital. When you think about companies like Fearless Fund with Ariane, I went to college with her. I can't think of her last name right now. But her first name is Ariane. Fearless Fund. That is a Black woman-owned fund. There's another fund here in Atlanta, headed by Jewel Melanie, who used to be a Google fellow, and they're doing money. So we are in the infancy. And if we don't allow these companies to make the moves they need to make to build the structures that actually are able to then bring down capital for small businesses, where the hell do we get it from? Where do we go? How do we do it?
This is a game of chess, y'all. This is not checkers, okay? We're not playing Battleship, and this is not Connect Four. It is bigger than what y'all are seeing from a surface level. Real quick, I need to address this because what's that? PP, the person said that Curly Magic and I Create Hold are mediocre at best. That's what I was laughing at. Here's what I'm gonna tell you, and I always tell everybody. Products are only as good.
It's just more about behind the scenes and what it takes to invest capital into a business, and just how funding resources are limited for a woman of color. So I think they said less than 100 women of color have received investments of $1 million or more, which when you listen to our, I guess I would say our demographically opposed counterparts, like white males, they raise $1 million for their companies like it's nothing. Every day, roll out of bed, and they do it. And it's just harder for women of color to get those opportunities. So this is something that should be celebrated. In addition to that part of the conversation, I just want to add, there were comments that I've seen under some videos where people think that Mielle sold to P&G because of the virality of that oil. So because somebody who was white made their oil go viral, they now wanted to sell to a white company. And that's not the case. I don't have any insider knowledge about like how this deal goes down, but generally there is a lot of paperwork that goes into these deals. So from the time that oil went viral to the time that Mielle made the announcement, especially with like Christmas and the holidays in between there, that deal was in the works before that whole controversy with the oil going viral started. So it's not as tightly linked as people think. My opinion. Like I said, I don't have inside knowledge, but just the amount of contracts and legal documentation for things to transfer hands, it didn't go down like that. Okay, so I'm going to continue to watch some more. I think now is when the conversation shifts a little bit from business to some more, like a few, every time Black Girl Curls gets on the live, y'all know people are going to start asking about products and the 30-day hair detox. So I think this is where the conversation starts to shift a little bit away from like the business of Mielle into like a few questions about the 30-day hair detox and products and stuff. So let's get into it.
We use products. We're showing you how to have realistic expectations about the condition of the hair that you currently have, because y'all got to take into consideration before y'all ever came into this space, before y'all ever saw our hairstyles, all the stuff you were doing up until this point, everything you did is showing up on your hair right now, and it's not allowing your hair to behave in the manner you would like it to behave in. And you have to give this time.
Wait,
I will tell you that
real quick. I want to say before I forget. Yeah. If you're leaving your Cutty Kinky stylist with damp roots and you don't want to leave with damp roots, ask the stylist to leave you under the dryer. Ask the stylist to leave you under the dryer.
And for the person, like, I wish they had an unscented version of it. Use something else. You don't have to use bamboo ginseng. There are other. Here's the thing: results. you're going to get a result. Bamboo ginseng is not the only thing that's going to give a result. I don't even use it. I have been in a salon. I might have used it one time in the last 12 months. I barely use bamboo ginseng.
It's my holy grail on my own hair because it dries fast. I can do an Uncle Bucky's bamboo glaze, go under the dryer, and diffuse my hair for 15 minutes. And yes, my roots are wet because I don't have the patience. I ain't got the patience. If your hair is dense, Aisha's roots are dense. If your hair is dense, it's just dense. There's no product that is like the way, just in general, unless by magic development. No, their product is gonna dry in less than an hour or two if you're dense. It just, physics don't work that way.
Well, I'll tell you this, what I have on my hair right now actually dry fast, and the roots actually dried. So I didn't have damp roots, but I'm experimenting with some stuff right now. So I don't really have much to say about it. I will be sharing this in Sesame Curls. And this is really centered around people who are allergic to tea. So like I'm doing some experiments because using a new product that you don't normally use requires testing. You have to keep doing it so that you can then show other people how to effectively use it on themselves. I can do it on a client, no problem. On myself, different story. So anyway, I did do my hair. What was that? Monday, Tuesday? The roots were dry, and I wasn't under the dry. I wasn't under there an hour.
Cool.
So
share
I will share, but y'all got to be in Cecil Girls if y'all want that tea.
And I'm like, I guess my thing is, there are things that you want to use. There's so much more on our list than those two products. Those two products, and this is also given the reason why we use them. We use them because so many people have come to us dehydrated, dry. Our other situations are happening.
These are snippets. Like I'm not going to react to the whole live. The whole live is over an hour long. I just had the live playing in the background while I was working, and I would go back and just pick clips that for some reason resonated with me. So this one about products and expectations and how you're going into it with your hair. Like, yes, when I started, I had a head full of hennaed hair. My hair reacts differently now that I don't use henna anymore. My product combinations have changed, like based on going to the salon and the things she chooses to use on my hair, just as my hair has become more hydrated. It just does behave differently. I'll probably have a video coming up soonish because the springtime is when, I think it'll be 2 years since I did the 30-day hair detox coming up in January. So I'll touch on more of that. But the reason why I think I picked this particular clip, because like I'm with Elise. I'm team Curly Magic, Bamboo Ginseng. Dry it halfway. It dries fast. So I felt seen. Curly Magic, Bamboo Ginseng Glaze, when I don't know what I want to do with myself, but I need to get my hair done fast. That is the combo. That is my holy grail when I don't have time to play games. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason I picked that clip. But I'm going to go ahead and watch some more of this live.
So yeah, I love how JC, there's parent companies and shareholders at play also. And so when we start to think about companies being brands, we've bought into brands. And that is what the brand has done its job. The marketing team has excelled. The marketing team deserves all the bonuses and the kudos because we have bought into A, the story of the brand, B, the products that the brand puts out, whether we know what their performance is or not. Y'all don't know the performance of the line that just dropped yesterday, but half of y'all are going to go run out and buy it at the Target, all 7 SKUs. And then you're going to go home and try it out without necessarily knowledge of who it's for, how it works, and how it's used. So in this breath, the marketing department has done its job. The company itself, in a capitalistic society, has done its job. And now it is likely grown to a point that either A, the owners are exhausted. This is something we never talk about. They have grown both Monique and her husband Melvin have grown this company to be a company valuated at $100 million. They have kids too. Can you understand how just physically, emotionally, mentally exhausting that climb is? Number one. Two, they have possibly reached the place that they can get to as the two people leading that company, no matter how many venture capitalists invest, no matter how many partnerships that they have, there is a point of growth where you can do it no longer in the same format that you are in. And this is the business owner side. Now, whether they kept ownership of the company or they sold the company or they partnered with another brand or company, formulations have to change. Raw ingredient availability changes. Right now we are in political, ecological, and other types of instability, so that you might have to change a formulation. Everybody went hog wild about Honey Pot changing the formulation, but she had to bring her formulation, from what my understanding, she had to bring her formulation in line with some new laws because it's a regulated product. And so there are things behind the scenes beyond, oh my God, this was such an amazing product, they had to change the formulation. That doesn't have anything to do with who owns it. That has to do with other factors of business.
All right, so this clip was kind of about marketing, mostly. I agree. Mielle's marketing did their job. Before the controversy, I bought Mielle on my own. I just went to a store, probably Target, decided the packaging looked good. It was in the natural hair care aisle. So I picked it up and moved on without knowing anything about the brand, without knowing anything how it performed. So yeah, like Monique and Melvin did a good job marketing their brand. I took a hiatus because I was using very specific products for my hair. After I started 30-day hair detox, after I saw a stylist, I kind of limited the products I was using. This year in the summertime, I kind of opened back up, and like, yeah, Mielle was one of the brands that I went to and, you know, just see how it would work in this new regimen. I think that's all I have to add. Oh, the honey pot. I just want to have like a general discussion about Black women-owned brands. It is like the gift and the curse to have somebody that looks like you behind the brand. So like when people get up in arms about, you know, Mielle, or they got up in arms about the honey pot, there's a person. Their names, like when Carol Daughter sold, people, you know, saw Lisa Price. When Main Choice sold, they saw, I think her name is Courtney. So there are, when we cancel these Black women-owned brands or we get up in arms at them about certain things, we're attached to a woman, like a Black woman, and all that frustration and anger is attached to that. Contrast that when people cancel Diva Curl, like who was the face of Diva Curl? Like who were people getting mad at? Like there wasn't a person behind it. So like if people go cancel Revere, who's the Black woman behind Revere? They ain't one. If people go cancel Cantu, who's the Black woman behind Cantu? Ain't one. African Pride, ain't one. Will there be things that we get upset as about consumers? Yes, absolutely. But it's disappointing. It's disappointing when it goes, because behind the brand is somebody you can go and like, I can't believe Monique sold. But like I said, if Revere sold to somebody, who you getting mad at? And everybody loves those things because people getting $300-$400, you know, dryers for free to sell them to you. That's all I had to add to that. I don't even really know how relevant that was, but just when she went into Honey Pot and just like the chain effect of whenever, you know, these controversies come up to a Black woman-owned brand where the Black woman is the face, who's saying support me and we support them because they're Black. As soon as the littlest thing happened, we're ready to off them, you know what I mean? So like they stand up, they make stuff for the Black woman experience, the Black women turn them, I don't know. That's just my thoughts about that.
Any natural hair products at Target, because this happened to me in Fremont, California in 2015, 2014, and there's this much. You should be able to say, that'll work and that'll work. Not be, oh my God, if I don't have this one product, my hair is going to be trash. And this is what we mean by being loyal to your own hair. And for stylists, you should be able to choose a multitude of tools to achieve the desired result of your client. It's not about, oh, I only have this line, and so whatever is in this line is just going to have to work for whoever sits in my chair.
No. Sunnier side of town says, but the challenge then comes when we have to switch around and find the girl. What's the challenge? There are plenty of really great products. This is not natural hair of 2010 or 2011 or 2012. 2022 natural really comes down to you knowing how to use products. Because at this point, it's more than enough to go around for everybody 5 times around the moon for them to be able to do their hair. So that's I won't say it's an excuse. It's, you don't understand that you have more product available at your feet, quality ones at that. I went to Walgreens, and always my struggle was, when I was natural in 2011, was going in, and I'm just using this as an example, y'all, going in and seeing little ass bottles like this, and you see the hair I have. You see the hair of my head. I'm already, based off the bottle size, I'm already sizing them up. Like, nah, they can't even do nothing for me. But I'm not about to pay $19 for something, and I don't know if it works. But the real problem wasn't that this little bottle, it was me not knowing how to use this little bottle. How this bottle could possibly, now Walgreens not so much, but how could this little bottle possibly serve my needs? And so what we really have is the problem isn't brands selling or selling out or partnering or being merged or being bought. It is us having the understanding of how to use products on our hair. We have been marketed to so heavily. And I actually watched Jennifer Rose's live around this as well yesterday, because I like to hear her opinion as well. And she said something that she said that really stuck with me was, she really hates the way the companies, the Black companies specifically, market to us. And I actually agree with her, because it markets and plays on our insecurities.
Insecurity marketing. It's actually a thing. Insecurity marketing is actually a thing. And that's what most people are doing out here, is marketing to the things that you're insecure about. But sunnier side of town, it's not about trying things out. It's about understanding your hair. If you know your hair, you can go to a product and say, I've turned it around. I look at the ingredients. There's no ingredient withhold in here. I don't need this. This is a buttercream. I don't need this unless I want fluffy hair. It's about understanding. And so it's not about being a stylist. Black Girl Curls is our consumer side. We have consumer education. There are plenty of consumers that can walk into a Target and say, this is probably not for me. This is probably the best likely thing. And I'm not saying they'll be 100% spot on, but this is the best likely thing that I can choose. And that's more about the education, less about the products. So I want us to take products. Products are not solutions.
They're not.
Tools. When you understand tools, you understand how to choose tools.
Absolutely. JT, I'll say this. There's a way to highlight a pain point in a different way. In fact, yesterday I was working with a client, and I said to her, you have really springy hair. That sounds different than saying, oh, your shrinkage. The shrinkage sounds like that new movie, Megan, that scary doll. It sounds like that. What? You haven't seen it?
Okay, so that clip was kind of about being able to choose products and not being married to a brand. And that is something I have been learning, with the salon visits, with being in See Some Curls, is how to pick products that work for my hair and what they do. I will say, before I did the 30-day hair detox, before I did See Some Curls and salon visits and all of that, I used to be afraid of gels. When I was relaxed, I was taught gels are bad, they're drying. I literally got yelled at by my mother for using a gel. So unless I was going to get like a flat twist or something, like they weren't something that I would use on the regular. I would pick up a mousse, I would pick up a styling foam to do a rod set, But products with hold, I would normally stay away from them. So everything I was using before 30 Day Hair Detox did not have any hold. And going through 30 Day Hair Detox, going through See Some Curls, going to see a stylist, you know, there are gels that have botanical ingredients in them, that have nourishing ingredients in them that do not damage your hair. And just being able to tell the difference and pick those up, I can go into a store. There are products that I would have never touched before. There are products that I've tried in the past and put them down because they didn't work, because I didn't know what they were supposed to do. So in terms of, if that was a goal of Black Girl Curls, is to teach somebody how to go into a Target and pick products, a Target, a Sally's, an Ulta, even a Sephora, and look at a product, look at the ingredients, and decide if it's something that could potentially work for my hair. It's something I've gotten much better at. The product junkie in me came back out in 2022, so I did start, you know, trying different stylers, and surprised how many of them worked. And since this is a Mielle conversation, I did go over the summer and try the coil sculpted custard and the curl defining mousse from Mielle. I can use those to get a wash ago. So yeah, so once with that knowledge, I picked up that product. Before, I looked at the price tag on that product, and I used to think gels were just for like slicking back your hair, or slicking your hair back into like a ponytail, or slicking it into two braids or something. It is not something I ever would have bought. But with the knowledge, even though it's not the product my stylist uses in the salon, it's something that I was willing to go try. Just with the knowledge of what holding ingredients looks like, knowing where it works in my hair, and knowing what the consistency is. You know, you just get used to picking out products for yourself. And if you want to, you can go try new ones. Or like if you're in a situation when you have the knowledge to go try new ones. But yes, I agree. Knowledge of categories of products, how they work, and what works, what gives you the results you want on your hair is powerful, because then you can go and use those resources when you need to. I'm going to continue watching the video, the live. I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'm going to go ahead and continue watching the live.
And hope and see these partnerships and mergers and acquisitions happen to bring greater innovation into a product line. And we're going to finish up in a second because we do have a meeting to attend. But I had lunch twice, actually, with the cosmetic chemist for the brand that's coming out that I worked with this summer. We had in-depth discussions about the formula that was considered for final production. I don't even know what's going to come out of my final production. I'm going to be at the store, whatever store they decided to go into and sell. I'm going to be at the store day one going to see it, to try it, because I was a part of it. But even having those discussions with her, it's like, I need this product to do this. I need this product to do that. And she's like, and writing some things down and going back into the lab. And she actually brought me something and then sent me something else, because it's a tweak. It's a balance between, is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? Yes, polymer science is coming out with new things daily. There are hundreds of new ingredients coming out yearly, which is also why product formulas change, because there is new technology. Mm-hmm. But in that same breath, cosmetic chemists are still people. And they're still working for formulators. They're still working for marketers. They're still working for these systems, and these structures are the same system and the structures marketing to you. And so in that, we have to understand where the business is right now. We have to understand where the formulations are right now. And we have to understand where the marketing is right now, and how all of that affects how these, especially these small Black-owned businesses, can operate in this market with these very, very large conglomerates. Y'all, there are conglomerates that we don't even know about right now.
We don't even know behind. And let me say this, a couple things I want to say. One, if you look at makeup companies, most of the makeup floor in a department store, almost 60 to 75% of the floor, I might be 90. Lancome owns everybody. Lancome.
Yep.
Lancome owns MAC.
Lancome or Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder.
Oh, is it
Estee Lauder owns Aveda.
Oh,
MAC.
actually,
I think they might own Lancome.
Bobbi Brown. They own that. So you're buying Bobbi Brown, but Bobbi Brown has a parent company. You're buying Mac. Mac has a parent company. Nobody was up in arms when Mac finally sold their company to.
They were.
It was brief.
The makeup artists were.
They still buying. Still buying though. So that it comes down to that, and I think we are putting we get a thing and then we want something else. Can we just live in the fact that right now we have so much accessibility to product that we actually have people like Black Girl Curls online teaching people how to use products, that even the piss poor ones work? Because I've seen some things. I'm like, oh, that look good. Which are you? Oh. So it's not about the products being whatever. It's about us knowing how to use it. Us actually learning our hair. That is bigger than any product company that has come along. Us being able to learn our hair. To be in a position right now where wash and goes, where you hardly ever see them, people always were upset and frustrated that they didn't work. And now people are actually doing more wash and goes than we see twist outs. Like we literally turned the
Because time freedom. And so in that, this is more about a discussion about how Black businesses in 2023 can grow. It's about how Black consumers get what we need and want down the road. And this is coming from perspective, even not even just our perspective. When you think about Ronnie doing this, even before I was doing this, with almost nothing that was marketed to naturals. At least we had a few product lines in 2010 for me to go find and or order in the beginning days of real online e-commerce. There has been so much exponential growth in all sectors, and we have managed to maintain ownership and partnership for even longer than the Jerry Curl era. If you go read this book right here, here's
the story.
This is going to give you a whole lot of the history of who owned what, who did what, and all of that. So I need us, one, to know where we came from, and two, understand in the context of the history where we're going. And so we still say kudos to Mielle. This is going to be amazing for Black business. It's going to be amazing for Black business. Whether the formulation stays the same or changes or improves, because we're at the final destination disaster thought process. It could possibly improve.
It could.
So in that breath, we have to, number one, give them grace.
Definitely.
To give them opportunity. Yes, we have seen this movie before.
Not this. This is a different version.
This one necessarily, because also when you think about the last one happened before a lot of this innovation, even the last one happened so that we could have all of these products at our fingertips at Target, at Walmart, at Walgreens. Those acquisitions and mergers had to happen then for us to even get here right now. Yeah. So let's have some grace on this. Let's see for ourselves. And then if the products don't align with what we need, then there are, because of what came before, other solutions. And there's going to be even better solutions coming from Black-owned small brands and small businesses because of the evolution. There's going to be more investment in those small brands and small business owners because of this merger and acquisition right now. So let us see the long game.
Yeah, we're seeing it on the professional side right now with Olaplex. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of chatter from other people like, I'm using something else because they shrink the bottle size.
Oh, they have?
They like, yeah, they cost more. They like, I'm not seeing what I'm seeing from this. There's other things I can use. I am not married to Olaplex. I'm married to using a bond rebuilder that's going to perform. And so they're moving on to something else.
Yes.
So
there has been even more technological advancement in bond building. So this is how progress is made. And I know that we have personal feelings about things, but let's not be, as Lovey says, the enemy of progress. This is how we get the progress to happen until those structures have been fully built and codified where we can keep it Black owned. But if businesses like Mielle Organics can't make these moves, if these businesses like Main Choice can't make these moves, then JC, not Alex Haley, was because of Kumbaya. Actually, it was interesting. I just did my whole family tree back to 1824. And to see what all the people went through, where they lived, for me to get here, to be on this internet talking to y'all, to be a homeowner, to be somebody who has only 2 kids and not 9 or 10, progress is made. And so thank you. Let's give folks their flowers, give folks their kudos, give folks our grace, and allow the structure within this capitalistic society, because regardless of whether we believe in capitalism or not, we live in capitalism. So let capitalism do its job as we are building Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X's dream. How about that? We can on that note, because we do have a meeting we have to do.
For us. It's like that. This would be crazy talk. Like, to hear us speaking this manner about some business that actually was able to capture a piece of the market in the way they captured the market to grow the way they have expanded. This is crazy. We should be celebrating them, just like we should be celebrating anybody else who is making a way for others. Because this very much is giving me very much. We gonna bring some people along. Just settled in our new place, but
let's do what we got to do.
Right. Let us get our.
That's how a whole bunch of people block their blessings. They don't know how to shut up.
They got to put their oxygen mask on first, and then they'll see about the rest of us. But until then, I use a product from the line. I'm going to continue using that product until it does not perform. I'm with it until it doesn't perform. When it's not performing, guess what? I'm moving on. I'm finding another product that is going to perform. But I'm still going to keep using the product. I don't care what's going on. That's their business. My business is that product performing on my hair. That's my real business.
All right. Thank y'all so much. We will, as you know, Aisha does her Q&A lives over on I Am Black Girl Curls.
Is really, really inside of Season Curls.
Sorry, y'all. That was 30-day hair detox.
Yeah, 30-day hair detox is over 2,200 people. Wish y'all could have been there with us, but it's over 2,200 people inside of the 30-day hair detox, and so we're taking care of that, and also our Season Curls, because we are getting ready for another curl play this quarter on inside of Season Curls. We're going to be focusing on twist outs. So all of our curl plays, which are our live stream sessions that we allow those who are subscribed to be a part of, are going to consist of twisting. So you're going to see twisting in January, February, and March. And it was because of the feedback you all shared with us about what you wanted to do with your hair.
And y'all my updos that I haven't done in some years. So I'm actually very excited to bring those back.
Well, for twisting. So we're doing that for you all, just because, again, we understand not everybody wears wash and goes. We're not trying to make everybody. It's easy for us. It's like, oh, ask us to do a twist. Like, oh God.
I did a twist in that 45 minutes. Was like, I could have just done a wash and go. But over on the Cut It Kinky side, we have the Curl Society Digital. We are doing our first class for our enrichment cohort, which is going to be tight curl fundamentals, going into the pro side of understanding the fundamentals of tight curls. If you're an alumni, we are doing the 3 C's of congruence curl cutting. And all of our immersion workshops are sold out for January through June. So we're trying to schedule some more for y'all, but we do have our enrichment classes in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and Indianapolis, Indiana, coming up in March, April, and June. So we will see the consumers over on I Am Black Girl Curls, and the professionals, I will see you on over Cut Kinky. And if you're an alumni and need the link, just send me a DM. Ayana, I got you.
Okay, one last thing. Please sure to share this, because I think this is a very valid conversation, and it's different from the chatter that is happening online.
So those were just some closing remarks from Black Girl Curls and how this could potentially help, innovate formulas for Black hair care, and, help solve some of the issues that we have right now. So overall, I'm excited about, I wish they could have continued to grow as a Black-owned company, but I am glad that they were able to have a buyer that seems like they're invested in helping them to grow and still primarily serve a Black audience. So those are my closing thoughts and kind of celebration of this deal. I'll go ahead and film my wash and go the next time I use Mielle products. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed, and thanks for watching.